involved in the paranormal field for about 3 years now, and one of the things that got me into it in the first place is actually kind of unique. I've been interested in meteorology my whole life, and ever since junior high school, and college, I always took meteorology classes, weather classes, and I actually majored in meteorology my first year of college when I went to Penn State. And I always believed in energy in the environment, and that was very strong, and you know, there was a lot of stuff going on in the atmosphere, and it was basically only a hop, skip, and a jump when I started hearing about paranormal activity, that energy in the environment could definitely be correlated with paranormal activity. So I guess, you know, I kind of entered the field in a very unique way because of weather. And I was actually on Ed Kraft's radio show about 2 weeks ago called The Anomalist, and on liveparanormal.com, and we were actually talking about how I got into the paranormal field and what types of investigating, how would I even say that, how different people like to investigate. Some people like to use a lot of equipment, some people like to use nothing, and we were talking about the way I like to investigate is I like to go back to basics. And I use very basic equipment. With all this new equipment that's been coming out and everybody goes running to get, the IR lights and the Melram and all of that stuff, I like my audio recorder, I like my EMF detector, and I like my eyes and my ears. And what I like to do, my favorite way to investigate is to go into a room, sit down, and be completely alone. And we were talking about lights on versus lights off, and I said I actually prefer the lights off because I feel that when you take away your eyesight, your hearing gets more acute. And I prefer to be able to, you know, sit in a room and kind of get a feeling for it. And instead of fiddling with meters and you know, worrying about what setting it's on, and is it AC or is it DC or is it this or is it that, not to worry about that, or I need new batteries, or oh, I didn't put the light on, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And I kind of like to just investigate the old-fashioned way, Hans Holzer way, so to speak. So, you know, I feel like a lot of people in the field these days, they're kind of keeping up with the Joneses a lot, and they're running out to the nearest ghost hunting store that are popping up all over the place, and they're buying the newest version. And it almost reminds me like of somebody buying a new car. And it's like they buy the car because of like the special features that it has, or the heated seats, or, you know, of this or of that. And I don't follow that pattern that a lot of people do. I'm interested by new equipment. I'm fascinated with the way it works. I'm open-minded to it possibly being effective in detecting paranormal activity. But when all is said and done, my kit at home doesn't include those items because I feel like we're making too much of, you know, worrying about these complicated gadgets versus actually finding out if there's something in a room. And I think that personal experience still is the first and foremost way to detect and learn about paranormal activity. Now, obviously, if you have a camera and you get the chance to catch it on camera, now that would be fantastic because there's proof. You know, I like scientific proof. I like having that proof, as I'm very logical and very analytical that way. But yet, I don't want to sacrifice that for just using my 5 senses and feeling something in a room. So, you know, as I've been in the field, as time goes on, and I see these people that are running out to get bigger cases so they could get more equipment, and what should we use tonight? Should we use this? Should we use this? Should we use that? I still have the same basic kit I bought 3 years ago, and I'm very happy with it. I have been a scared case manager for a little over 2 years now, and I have to say, the guys keep me on my toes. They're a great bunch of guys. They're really funny. It's kind of like I'm part of a fraternity, so to speak. And we all work really hard. We all wear a lot of hats, and I love working with them because I think they do things the right way. They don't fake evidence. They never have. They never will. They don't try to make something into something that it's not. Never have. Never will. And they basically they're honest, and that's a word that you don't hear that much in the paranormal these days anymore. And I really like working with them, and you know, I try to help them any way I can. So the time that I've spent with them, I've learned a lot about the paranormal. I've learned a lot about myself. Some of the experiences that I've had made me question my beliefs in religion. I was born and raised Catholic. I'm no longer Catholic in that sense. I feel like I'm agnostic now. And every investigation that I go on and the more time that goes on, I'm becoming more and more open-minded to a lot of new things as opposed to what I was taught or what I knew when I was younger. So, you know, I kind of like that. I'm not afraid of change, and I'm not afraid of learning about new things. So I'm not really, I can't really say that I'm a part of any religion right now because of the things that I've seen go against what I was taught. So what could I do except let go what I learned and just move forward? So every day and every investigation that I do, I kind of learn a little bit more about myself as I go. So that's why I'm still in this field, because there's a lot of other things I could be doing. I have a lot of experience in other fields growing up, and, you know, I have a degree in communications and marketing, and, you know, I've gone a totally different direction, but I still feel like the paranormal is a big part of my life because it's not just a great hobby that I do, it helps me learn and grow. So I think that, you know, that's important. One of the reasons why I love working with Scared is the fact that we're neutral. There is a lot of competition going on in the field these days. There's a lot of groups that are very catty, very snotty, very keep to themselves. They won't tell you the evidence they caught. They won't let you get into the places that they've been. And they want to keep it all to themselves. And, you know, my viewpoint of that is why. You know, there are no experts in this field. There is no science to this field. There's nothing that you can say, I have dibs on. You know, there is no such thing because there's no right and there's no wrong. The paranormal field is supposed to be about learning, about teaching, about sharing, and about helping people that are in need or have a question or a problem with an entity or a spirit in their house. It's not supposed to be about, I caught more EVPs than you did, and I have better equipment than you, and I have more money than you, so that means that I'm a better investigator because I could afford that Melram that somebody else had on TV. You know, I mean, that's ridiculous. So the way Scared does it is we're friends with everybody unless you do something to us. You know, in that case, we're from New York, and we're going to have to retaliate because that's just how we were brought up. So, you know, sorry, you know, that's just how it is in New York. But, you know, we work with a lot of other groups, and if you've ever seen any of our episodes, most of them feature a local group from that area. And we like working with others because it exposes us to other pieces of equipment that we might not have heard of before, that we might not have seen. And somebody's style of investigating might be something that we might take on. You know, one of the groups we worked with, they did like an initial sweep of a room, and they did like base readings, and then they would sit in the room for 20 minutes, and this would be before the investigation even started. And kind of got us comfortable with like the temperature of the location, were there any outside noises, you know, etc. And we had never tried that before, and we're like, that's actually a pretty cool idea. So I think working with groups is definitely the way to go, because how else are you going to share ideas? We come to these paranormal conventions because we think they're really important. We meet awesome people. But besides having fun, you know, all the fun and games, I think that that's the way we learn. More than going to an investigation and doing it, working with other groups is how we find out more information about different things. So, you know, I really like Scared for being neutral that way. And, you know, as long as we're, you know, you don't make an enemy of us, we will always work with, share, and help you, you know, do something. So.